Today we are exploring an agent-based model designed to simulate decision-making dynamics within organizations based on the garbage can model of organizational choice. This model captures the random encounters of decision makers, opportunities, solutions, and problems within an organization, highlighting how decisions emerge from these interactions. Before we start, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Mosin. My name is Guido Fioretti. I'm an associate professor of organization science at the University of Bologna, Italy, management department. I'm originally an electronic engineer, then I went into economics and management.
So, um, to begin, could you discuss the main objectives of this model? And I mean, what aspects of decision making in organizations are you must focus on, and how does the model address the emergence and growth of organizations over time?
Here, the garbage can model of organizational decision making wants to highlight aspects of decisions as they are made within organizations that are different from individuals making decisions and combining, that they get combined with one another. One difference is that while individuals simply solve problems, in the garbage can model, yes, of course, you do solve problems, but you may also need to obtain social legitimacy, which means, for instance, that you may need to adopt some managerial fad that you don't really need, except that the bank will not grant a loan unless you adopt it. So there are dimensions that individuals do not see, whereas organizations do experience that. Also, it happens in the garbage can model that people postpone decisions or they pass the back to colleagues. This model shows that these activities are not detrimental to the organization as a whole. On the contrary, they might help it. One basic assumption of this model is that the solution to problems are provided by the organization. This is linked to an evolutionary view of organization, which claims that organizations are like bit like living organisms, which get their DNA at birth and never change it. So a company develops certain routines and culture at birth and the early stages of its existence, and then doesn't change them anymore. So this is the cultural assumptions of the garbage can model of organizational decision making. The extension which I made is that of using it as a model of organizations being born in a primordial soup representing society at large, still making use of the ecological assumptions of the garbage can model.
Thank you very much. What were some of the significant challenges you encountered while building the model? Was it challenging to simulate the random yet structured interactions of decision makers, opportunities, and problems?
Well, a forerunner of the model we're talking about today is a remake of the original 1972 code, which was originally had been originally written in Fortran. And since the garbage can intuitively expresses an agent-based world, it was natural to reconstruct it as a net logo-based agent-based model. Now, while extending it to a primordial soup where organizations emerged, I really encountered the limitations of NetLogo in the sense that in NetLogo you have to use patches as a sort of memory for informations and information going back and forth between turtles and patches. Now, when you have organizations emerging, growing, and dying, this can be quite intricate. Not conceptually difficult, but at some point in time, I thought, oh, had I used some object oriented languages, it had been all so much simpler.
From your analysis, what specific behaviors have emerged regarding, this decision making within organizations? Have you observed any unexpected trends in how decisions are framed or how organizations evolve?
Well, the garbage can model makes you think to experiences that you have certainly made in your life with, but you never paid attention to, like the fact that instead of after trying so long to explain your bosses that that idea is so good, so good, good and good, you had no choice except leaving your company and making your own spin-off. So that's the ecological view of organizations that on which the garbage can model is based. But in the primordial soup of garbage cans makes also realize a few other regularities that again, once again, they become rather obvious. That is, most companies are not so innovative. In reality, economic ecologists are made of a few really innovative companies, those that solve problems, and many other companies that just seek social legitimation. Now, the garbage can model explains you why it is so, and thereby it explains heterogeneity of data on firm growth rates as well as firm sizes in geographical terms and across, as well as across industries. So it provides conceptual explanations. After you got the explanation, you thought, oh, it was trivial. Yes, it was trivial, but you didn't think at it before looking at the model.
So, you have made the model publicly available using comsys.net. Did you face any challenges in preparing this model for open use, particularly in terms of documentation and usability and, reusability?
I cared a lot about documentation. I strictly follow the ODD protocol, which is a bit daunting and definitely not the most creative thing you can do in life. But still, researcher job is not always creative, and you must realize that if you want to communicate with other human beings, some sort of standardization is essential. So yes, I went to three processes appreciating the job of those who codified the ODD protocol.
What do you see as the next steps for this model? Are there plans to expand its applications or, explore how new variables that might impact organizational decision making and evolution?
The garbage can model is a conceptual model. It is there to make you think of possibilities that are not obvious at first sight. And it should be kept conceptual. That is, there are many possible extensions in terms of conceptual extensions, but I would refrain would discourage anybody from trying to apply it to empirical organizations. That's not what the model is thought for. That's not what it is meant for. So don't do that.
And thank you very much for this conversation.
Okay, thanks, Mosen, for contacting me.